Hi friends. Hi. Sarah, the owner and maker of Multifarious Nature. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are a new viewer, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, a big welcome back. I'm glad you guys are here for another episode. We have some beautiful sunlight today. It is 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Loving it. So I actually do have a short sleeve shirt on. This is a knit from a while ago. I'd say maybe 4 or 5 years ago. And it is the So Faded by Dry Renee Knits, or Andrea Mowry. Let me turn my light on now that I see how dark I am. Don't mind the shaking. As I wipe out. Okay, back up so you can see it, hopefully. But really cute little top. So the So Faded, you could do short sleeve or long sleeve. I did the shorter sleeve version because I was working from some mini skein set from Ruby and Roses. So I'm just going to show you that. And then I also had a single skein of this green colorway. I want to say it's called Whispering Pines, pretty sure. So Whispering Pines is the primary color, and then I used a mini skein set for the top and the bottom, or top and bottom, and then I used some of my green here. That's one of my colorways. Or if that's balsam fir. I think that's balsam fir. And then there was one mini skein that she had added because I had purchased something during a time when she was doing that deal. So I got an extra mini skein. Yes, so that was a really fun knit. It's very comfy. It is all superwash merino nylon wool, so pretty good in the summertime. And it's just nice and colorful, and it makes me feel happy, and it's just a fun little shirt. So decided to throw that on for this video. As far as shop update goes, definitely working on my Shetland fleeces here. I have Chanterelle's fleece from the fall of this past year ready to go on the drum carder. I should have at least, let's see, I should be able to get about 600-gram bats, so that's exciting. Yeah, I'm really excited, you guys, because I'm going to be able to have their fall fleeces of the three girls. So Chanterelle, Veiled Lady, and Amanita. I should be able to have all of them in the Michigan Fiber Festival this year. So I'm really excited about that because those are our girls. Those are the girls that we've invested a lot of time, love, and energy into. So it's exciting to be able to share their wool with you guys because it's absolutely beautiful, very soft. Shetland wool is quite special, so it holds a very special place in my heart, and I hope you will find that as well if you are able to stop by the booth. And again, I'll be up Michigan Fiber Festival in August. I did hear that a few of you might be able to come. I know Carrie from My Wool and Mitten, I think you're going to be able to come, which is really exciting. I hope I get to meet you out. It's going to be August 14th through the 16th. This year that I will be there, and I'm looking forward to it so much. I really enjoy going as a patron. I love purchasing from folks there at the festival, and I always have such a nice time chatting with folks and just seeing what they're up to and chatting about all the woolly goodness, because we're all pretty passionate about it. So it's a really wonderful experience. If you've never gone, I highly recommend going to Michigan Fiber Festival. It's a lot of fun. The animals are really nice to see. You can see a varying amount of animals. They have goats, sheep, bunnies, and they just don't have alpacas anymore. They used to. But with the temperatures, as I've mentioned, it's usually about 90 degrees Fahrenheit, if not warmer. And they have discontinued having the alpacas there. They have Alpaca Festival, which I think it's this weekend. When you guys are seeing this, I'm pretty sure, or it's in 2 weeks. I think it's in 2 weeks. It's the 16th, I think. Now that I think about it, I think it's the 16th of April. So it's cooler out. Very mild temperatures, so it might be in the 70s, which is perfect. So I think they'll be fine. But they're so cute. I went last year for the first time with my mom and my sister, and the alpacas are so stinking cute. and it was really fun to see them, and various makes out of alpaca, things like that. It's a much smaller event than Michigan Fiber Festival, but it is a free event, and it's really fun. So that's another thing you should check out if you're in the area. But I think it's only 2 days, maybe a Saturday and a Sunday. But I highly recommend if you wanted to check it out. But for something that more of an investment, if you're going to be traveling in, like if you don't live in the area and you're going to be making a venture, I definitely recommend Michigan Fiber Festival. It's very big. There are tons of vendors. Let's see, there's vendors in the 2 front buildings that are kind of connected, and then there's also outdoor vendors. There's food vendors. There's really nice restroom facilities, and then there's the big expo building, and then there's also the critter barn that has like the bunnies and such, and some vendors that have Angora. So really cool event. Highly recommend it. I always have to tell myself, do not get a bunny because you really don't need another critter in your life. But it's always hard because they're so stinking cute. But I do know they're a lot of work. It's the one thing that as many that start to venture into the small critter end of things, or just like taking care of animals other than like dogs. Dogs are their own feat, which we have 2 of them, but other animals that live outside of your home, livestock, it's it's a lot of work. It's rewarding, but it is a lot of work. And right now, I guess it's life update end of things. Maybe I'll save it for the life update. We'll talk about the critters during the life update. Anyway, so that's the shop update of the things. And now getting into what I've been working on. So I have been working on 2 projects. I worked on, okay, this one's funny. Or we'll talk about the one first. So I worked on my, smashed the daylights out of this pattern. Oh my word, guys. This is the Flutterbutt shirt by Jessie Made Designs. And hilarious. I was cruising on this so much. So I have the 1 sleeve done, and I'm almost done-ish with the 2nd sleeve. But hilarious. I was cruising on the 2nd sleeve. Just cruising on it. And I can't believe how dark this is looking, this video. Here, I'm going to turn you up a little bit. Don't mind me in your view. There we go. I'll blind myself for the sake of you guys being able to see better. But this is a one-of-a-kind colorway that I dyed up on a silk merino lace base. And it reminds me of an English garden. Like I said, I really want to try to replicate this colorway. I love it so much. It has speckling all over it. And the 2nd sleeve, I was working on this, and I got to the end. I actually bound off. And the length was correct, like the length of the sleeve. However, I forgot to increase. So the way that this little sleeve works so that you get this flutter effect to it without giving it away, because it's a paid for pattern, there is an increase that you do after the first couple or whatever amount rows. You do an increase and then you kind of keep going, and it makes this nice little ruffle. If you do not increase and you just keep knitting, you will end up with a sleeve that is about half of the width, and you won't get that flutter, that little like ruffle effect. So when I bound off, I held them by each other, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like something's very wrong. Like the sleeve looks really small. It doesn't have this beautiful ruffly flutter look to it. Well, it's because I didn't increase. The increases really do like double your amount, which you really need if you want the little fluttery sleeves. So I had to completely take that sleeve off and start over. Not a big deal. It's not a very long sleeve. So like I said, I'm almost done. And that is maybe 1 day's worth of knitting. Now I did knit on this quite a bit. I attacked it because I had messed up. And I did a webinar yesterday with Oh, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but not sponsored at all. I've invested in this, so not sponsored. It's just for more education and, yeah, mainly education. I did sign up for Knit Stars, and they had a webinar yesterday. So I did that, and while I was doing the webinar, I did some knitting, which was a lot of fun. So after I finish the sleeve, it's hard to tell because it's rolled up. But I will be casting on for the bottom ruffle, and then I work on that, and that's it. So it's going very quickly. It's primarily just stockinette knitting, and that is fabulous. And yeah, it should be nice and airy and light. I'm really excited because I'm planning on wearing this for Michigan Fiber Festival, and it definitely looks like I'll be able to finish it by then. So that's very exciting. If I continue the rate that I'm doing, I'm hoping to either be done with this by next week when I show you guys, or very, very close to being finished. So that's my hope, as long as I don't make another big oops, you know. But cruising on that one and definitely enjoying it. All right, the other one is my Jaunty Shawl by Andrea Mowry of Drea Renee Knits. She's one of my favorite designers. I do a lot of patterns by her. Okay, I think this is the front. It's always funny to try to figure out which side's which, because this is half fisherman's rib, so that can be a little hard to tell, but the back does have a kind of unique look to it. So this is the front. I am using all hand spun. This is my Multifarious Nature Advent from this past year. It's a hand spun Advent, using varying single breed bats. So we have Icelandic, Shetland, Tunis, Jacob, Clun Forest, and then I have CVM is the last one. And the beautiful colorway in between is from Lara the Llama. Kat is so talented. If you are at Michigan Fiber Festival, she usually is there. I'm pretty sure she's going to be there this year. Definitely check out her booth if you're looking for some beautiful hand-dyed roving. It's absolutely gorgeous. Very talented young lady, and she's so nice. She's so nice. I always love chatting with her. Just a very, very kind individual and incredibly talented. So this is a hint of the holidays, this colorway, and she has many different colors. She tends to gravitate towards beautiful pastels is kind of her primary, but she does sometimes venture into the more moody colors, which is my jam. I love moody colors, even though I'm wearing this beautifully bright, vibrant shirt. This is definitely more my wheelhouse, and I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, you guys. So I'm cruising away, and I noticed something that maybe others will notice here, but it seems like I could be wrong. I'm just gonna eyeball this. I think I'm kind of around this point on the shawl, which means this is all I have kind of sort of maybe left of knitting. The reason why that's a little nerve-wracking, if this is all I have left, I have to finish this color. Then I have to do, I don't have to, but I want to do just a little bit of the hint of the holidays, because I've been doing that between each color. And then I have a whole 20 grams of my beautiful Christmas CVM colorway, which is really beautifully textured and just absolutely gorgeous. It was banded. If you're not familiar with CVMs, as their fleece grows, it can be strands, staples, can have like banding of color. It's really fascinating, and it's really beautiful. And so I want to put some of that in here at least, because this is my Advent shawl after all. But we'll see. I might end up just not doing any more of the hint of the holidays, and I might end up just adding the CVM at the end, which that is actually might be what I do, because I have plenty of the hint of holidays. This is what I have left so far. and that spun up beautifully. It is a yak merino nylon or yak merino silk. Stunning blend. I don't know if Lara the Llama of Cat still does this blend, but if she does, you should definitely grab some because I've picked up some and I love it so much. It's one of my favorite bases. Yeah, definitely recommend it. Anyway, cruising along on this, I really could focus on it. I didn't knit on it that much this week, but if I really focused on it, I might be able to finish it again by next week. But if I focus on this and the other one, I know I won't finish them. So we'll see. I am quite taken with that little top because I want to get that done for sure for the Fiber Festival. But this I also want to get done for the Fiber Festival, not to wear it because I would be so hot, but to have it as a example, a sample, so that people can see what it looks like. And then I will always notate if something is not mine, because I don't want someone to look at it and go, oh, you dyed that. I did not dye it. I did not dye this. Beautiful color. That one is not mine. But yes, that's kind of fun. So I wanted to have that as a sample if possible. All right. And then I call this a works in progress because it is, well, now it's a finished object. It was work in progress. What is it? Fossil fibers. I got their, it's like a bi-monthly thing, like subscription. And it is, I can't remember, it was like the tea, the one that was inspired by tea. And this is my first one. I did finally finish spinning it. I did 2-ply, and it has Shetland lamb's wool, Texel, and there's 2 ounces of that. And then there is silk fiber. I think it's sari silk. Not sari silk. Mulberry silk. I think it's mulberry silk. Mulberry silk, rose fiber, and cotton string. So this has a lot in it. Like a lot's going on in here. Hopefully you'll be able to see some of those little flecks of string. This side has it a lot. See if it'll focus in on it. There's itty bitty little flecks of string in there. That was cotton string for weaving that she had like little remnants of, and I cut it in smaller pieces and then put that through the drum carder. There's also varying colors of Texel. There was a green, a blue, and of course the natural color. The silk fiber is beautifully white and shiny. It's not dyed. The rose gold type color in here, gold, I think is the mulberry silk. It's absolutely beautiful. Hopefully you can see that in here. This color was inspired by vintage teacups. And I'm just gonna do the old twisteroo here so you guys can see what it looks like skeined up. And it's just absolutely beautiful. It was so much fun to spin, and not only spin, but to put on my drum carder, because it comes to you washed but not carded. So that way you can kind of do whatever you want to prep it. You could comb it if you want, but I use my drum carder. And isn't that just stunning? It is so pretty. And it was so fun to work on this during Easter because it's very Easter oriented, the colors, to me at least. This feels very Easter. So that was a really fun project. And fun part is I have my little handmade want card like label that I can put on there. But then I also have the Fossil Fibers one that has some of that information on there. And then you can easily untie the cotton string from the bag that it came in, and you can just reuse it. I always love reusing things if I can. All right, and I think that's it as far as works in progress. I did start working with some of the hand-dyed fiber. I got this hand-dyed fiber. I'm going to make some noise, sorry. This hand-dyed fiber is from Fresh Lotus Designs. They are at Michigan Fiber Festival usually, so another fun one to check out if you're going to be there. This colorway, is called Mineral Springs. There's tons of different fiber in here. So what I did is I just kind of like grabbed a little of this, grabbed a little of that, and then I mixed it with some Suffolk. And this is what I got. So I put it on my drum carder. I only put it through one pass because I didn't want it to get muddy. With all those colors going on, you'll easily get something muddy. So I just put it through and then I'm spinning from it. The colorway is looking interesting. It has some definite depth. I'm using a gray Suffolk. So there you go. There's the gray Suffolk. As you can see, it's not like super, super blended because I just put it through once. And there's this really fun, I don't know if this is like Angel Star or I don't know what that is, but it's so pretty. Firestar. And then there's some silk in here. I mean, just look at that beautiful fiery color. And I am just loving it. So the Suffolk is really beautiful and plump and soft and squishy. And it's a nice neutral base to blend with everything else. So I wish I could show you the bobbin right now, but it's on my wheel and I don't really want to take it off since I'm currently spinning and don't want to mess with the tension. But it's really turning out interesting. I'm probably going to do a chain ply, maybe, which could make it look really muddy. I'm just looking at it right now thinking to myself, do I want to do that? So we'll see. We'll put a pin in that. It might end up being a 2-ply. I'm not certain yet. That's what I want to do. But that's just having fun. You know, I've decided to try to allow myself to do a little bit of fun on the spinning wheel here and there. I obviously need to do my samples for things, but I want to also make sure I'm having fun because it really helps with creativity and all of that if you're just having fun and not always like, I don't want to call it grinding because it's not hard. I mean, not hard in the sense that I enjoy it. I enjoy the process of doing sampling. I enjoy all of that, but it is hard when it's just like you're always doing something for the purpose of the business and not always for the purpose of creativity. And creativity is super important to your business. So there's got to be like this yin and yang kind of like, I know. I feel like I'm speaking gibberish. I'm sure some of you understand if you are in a creative field. I'm sure, especially entrepreneurs, I'm sure you're understanding like, yes, you need to do certain things. You have to follow your passions in your creative flow so that way it falls into everything else that you do. And I definitely feel myself when I tend to focus on like just work for the sake of getting it done. So like making bats, I love making it. I love working with the wool, like picking the wool open, touching the wool. I absolutely love it. It's so wonderful. It's so relaxing. And if I could just do that and not have a deadline, I could do it and I'd be relaxed as could be. But when you give yourself deadlines and you're like, I need to get it done by this time. Obviously I have a deadline of Michigan Fiber Festival. So I am constantly trying to card things or pick things and then divide it, get it ready to card, then card, and then label everything. And I just do this flow. But it is like when you focus and do it that way, it becomes a job, right? It becomes a job because then you are doing it for that deadline. But it's a job that I am grateful I can do. It's a job that I absolutely love. And I feel very, very blessed to be able to do it. And I try not to take that for granted because it's part-time. It's something I do on the side. And I say it's part-time, but that is funny, right? Anyone who is an entrepreneur, they know when you say you work part-time doing this passion project on the side of what you do full-time, like 9 to 5 or whatever it is funny because it tends to bleed into every aspect of your life. And so really it's not part-time. Anytime you have free time, you're probably thinking about it in some way, shape, or form. Either you're trying to creatively think of an idea, you're trying to actually put that process into, like trying to make that thing come to fruition. it like doing sampling, things like that to see what you think, what's going to happen if I do this and that, and it's all encompassing. So it will be interesting as our life evolves in the future. It will be interesting to see how things ebb and flow with Multifarious Nature. I absolutely love it. I'm hopeful that I can constantly keep moving that ball forward. You just never know where life's going to take you. And but I'm so incredibly grateful for what I have right now, and for all of you. So thank you so much for always being here and sticking around. If you are still here. Oh, I did want to show you guys this too. If you are someone who, these are not new patterns. I don't think they're new. One might be newer, but they're not brand new patterns. They've been out for a bit. I have gotten away from looking into free patterns, and I don't know why, because there's some really great free patterns out there, and by designers who are pretty established, so they're probably really decent, detailed, well-tested patterns. So these are two, haven't made them yet, but I would very much like to make them, and one is a pair of socks and one is a sweater. So I feel like those that like to make smaller items, those that like to make sweaters might enjoy this. So I wanted to share it with you. The designer is Zanette Knits. She is very talented, probably a name you might be familiar with. If not, here's a fun new designer that is incredibly talented. They're her Children of Gaza designs. And so she has Children of Gaza socks. These are free. This is a free pattern, you guys. And the sweater is also a free pattern. I do not know if these are always going to be free, but they currently are as of today. If you're watching this in the future, I do not know, but it's worth checking out. So it's the Children of Gaza. These are the socks. It's color work. I've not done all over color work socks before, so that will be a new one. I've done color work on the toe, and I've done color work up in the oh my goodness, like the top part of the sock. I don't know why I am losing my train of thought there, but yeah, I've done that before, but I've never done the entire length of the sock in color work, so that will be a new one for me. So I'm excited to try that. And the other one is the Children of Gaza sweater, which this is absolutely beautiful. Hopefully you guys can see that detail. This is the patterning that's on the sock, and it looks like a basket. I do really love hers, but I did see some that use, I think, two colors. So they use one as your primary all over, and then they use a contrast color all over. And those, I really like that. Not that I'm opposed to doing like a color fade like that. That's such a beautiful fade. But when I saw the colors, like a solid two colors, I thought it was absolutely stunning. So definitely check them out. They're free patterns, and if they're still free, that's a very intricate, very detailed pattern for free. Both of these patterns, so this one, the socks, is a 10, it's a 10, no, 11. That's an 11-page pattern. That does include the cover, but that's a detailed pattern. And then the sweater is 13 pages. That's 13 pages, and they're free. That is incredibly generous of her, and to help support her, I absolutely would love to make these and pin my project on Ravelry, because again, when you do that and you share patterns and that you're working on, it really helps the pattern get out there, and it helps the designers. Now, she doesn't probably need a lot of help in that department. She seems to be pretty well established and very talented. I've seen lots of interviews of her. So she definitely seems to be a pretty well-known designer. I think she's just newer to me, but a pretty well-established designer. But I just feel like it's just so kind and generous of these designers to do this and put them out there for free. So if you're looking for a fun color work patterning, both of these look really good. Again, I haven't done them, but I have heard wonderful things about this designer, and I have printed other patterns from her that I paid for. But yes, very much looking forward to working on those in the semi-near-ish future. Maybe I'd work on the socks in the near future. We'll see. But the sweater, I'm going to have to wait until maybe the fall or winter. Definitely after Michigan Fiber Festival. As far as life update end of things goes, oh my goodness. Yes, the sheep. The ongoing sheep saga. Constantly watching the weather to figure out when to shear them. I feel like shearing is definitely around the corner here in the next coming weeks. This weekend, I'm hoping to vaccinate them. I need to do the CDT vaccine, and I also need to do their trimming of their hooves. I try to do that together because, again, you try not to get them all riled up too often. I cuddled them a lot yesterday. That was a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. I hope you guys enjoy the tales from the pasture. But I get a kick out of these critters. They're such characters, and I'm sure all sheep are like this, but like these little Shetlands, they all have different personalities, and they're really funny. And I went in the pasture with them yesterday, and it was beautiful outside. And they were sitting like mid-pasture, and of course, as soon as I come to the gate, they all kind of start running towards me. They're so sweet how they do that. I always thank them for their hospitality because I'm coming into their area. And it's really fun. I sit on the ground. I walked closer to them, so I'm about, I'd say a quarter of the way into the pasture or so. So we're nice in the middle of the field there. And it's really sweet. I just sat down, and they came up, getting their rubs, and then they very quickly would plop themselves back down and ruminate. And I was just petting them and loving on them, and they're very cuddly. One in particular, actually, well, one just loves to be scratched. She loves it with a passion, and she's very exuberant. Is that the word? She really gets into it. Like, I was rubbing her, and she's just like, oh my gosh. Like, I really got in under her neck area, and she throws her head back. She's like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing. I can't itch that area. How on earth? It was pretty entertaining. And then scratch her little side, and she was just tickled to death. And it's really neat because they are now starting to rue. So if you're not familiar with rueing, Shetlands and other primitive breeds, they actually release their fleece. There's like, if you look at the staple length, there's a natural break where the fleece weakens there, and that's where you can literally like pluck their wool right off of them. It's unbelievable. And I knew about it. And the first time it ever happened with our sheep, I was just rubbing behind their ear, and this little chunk just came off in my hand, and I'm like, what on earth? It's fascinating, and I always like it because it's my signifier that they are going to start shedding their fleece. So it helps you go, hey, I need to shear them, right? They're naturally shedding it, so you need to do it. I think, like I said before, I'm pretty sure that they will naturally shed their entire fleece, probably. But it's always unique because it never comes off all the same time. And the girl's perfect example, like around their face, it was coming off. But when I went around their body, it's not at all. And then, but by their legs, they're like at the bottom where their thick wool meets their little legs. That's where it started to rue now too. So that's always fun. And then their tail will rue. Like I can pluck it off of their tail. And so their little booty area is going to be clear, which I love because if I'm going to be shearing them, because I hand like blade shear them, to already pluck areas, it really helps you see the shape of their legs because we only shear our sheep twice a year. It's always a good reminder, like, okay, this is the way the body is. And and that, again, it's also handling the sheep and being around them that you start to learn the way they look and their structure and all of that. And, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. And yeah, Veiled Lady, she is so sweet, and she's a beautiful, she's a gray, but she almost has like this fawn coloring to her. And yeah, she's hilarious, and she'll come right up to me, and she loves attention. She'll hoof me, and I give her all kinds of scratches, and she'll close her little eyes and lean against me. Very endearing little animals. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was with them for like almost an hour yesterday. I always have the intent of being out there for maybe 15 minutes, just checking them over and like make sure they have hay and clean water. But I always manage to be out there for like a half hour to an hour, depending on what I'm up to. Especially if I'm moving the fence. I have a portable electric fence that I move to do rotational grazing with them, or like a form of rotational grazing. And it's always entertaining because when I move that fence, they always immediately will follow me when they see me going down that fence line, because they know I'm going to move it, and then they get fresh pasture that they haven't been on for a bit. So it's always entertaining. Yeah, they're such characters. If anybody ever is able to get sheep, I highly recommend it. But obviously they do take work. In the dead of winter, you have to go out there every single day and check on them and make sure they have water. And you can't just like drop everything and travel like you might be able to otherwise. But it's so rewarding. It's so rewarding. And they produce this beautiful fiber, and I absolutely love working with it. So anyway, that's my going on and on about Shetland sheep. I love them. They're so wonderful. But anyway, I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear what you're up to, and what you're doing and making, especially the making end of things. It's always fun. I hope you guys are getting into the spring temperatures now, because we're finally starting to get there. We're still getting those weird days where it's like, oh, it's 30 degrees in the morning, but then, oh, it's 60 by 7 p.m. So bizarre. That's how it was the other day. Any of my Michigan folks probably understand it. And it's so funny. I went to work and I have a sweater. I put a sweater on because I went out with the dogs in the morning, and I was like, it's freezing. It was 32, not 32. I think it was like 30, 34 degrees out. Like, not exactly warm, above freezing, but not exactly warm. And I took them out, and it was great. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to wear a sweater to work. I just have to. I'll freeze. And I wore a sweater, and by the time I got out, it was almost 60 degrees out. So it's just bizarre. It's so bizarre. But we will get there. We will get there to the more mild temps, which I'm so enjoying. Today it is, like I said, 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm actually going to wrap this up because the clouds are starting to roll in. We are supposed to get rain later. And so I really want to get out there and spend some time with the sheepies while it's nice out and warmer. And just take it all in while we can, because it's supposed to rain and be really creepy tomorrow. I'm for the rain though. If it's above freezing, I am all for rain this time of year. That's what it's about. April showers. Get those flowers coming up, that's all good, and it's great for the pasture. Great for the pasture. Well, I hope you guys are doing well, and I hope you're making and staying healthy. That's for sure. And I look forward to chatting with you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Take care. Bye.